and welcome to Diabetes Connections in the News. I'm Stacey Sims, and every other Friday, I bring you a short episode with the top diabetes stories and headlines happening now. Our top story this week, treating type 1 by supplying extra oxygen to insulin-secreting cells. This is an implant system without the need for immunosuppression. This is proof of concept. Nobody has done this in a person yet, and the next step is animal studies. But this lab at Cornell has produced previous implantable devices that have proved effective in controlling blood sugar in mice, but they can only last so long. The next step is to implant the system in a pig model and also test it with human stem cells. The researchers said they also want to use the system for implanting different cell types in people for long-term treatment of other chronic diseases. Mayo Clinic cancer research may be big news for type 1 after identifying a sugar molecule that cancer cells use on their surfaces to hide from the immune system. The researchers have found the same molecule may eventually help in the treatment of type 1 diabetes. Cancer cells use a variety of methods to evade immune response, including coating themselves in this sugar molecule. The researchers found in a preclinical model of type 1 that it's possible to dress up beta cells with the same molecule, enabling the immune system to tolerate the cells. In the preclinical models, the team found the engineered cells were 90% effective in preventing the development of type 1. The beta cells, typically destroyed by the immune system, were preserved. A daily pill may be as effective in lowering blood sugar and helping in weight loss in people with type 2 as the popular Mounjaro and Ozempic drugs. Clinical trial announced by Eli Lilly. The drug, orforglipron, is a GLP-1, but unlike the injectables on the market right now, it does not have to be kept refrigerated, and it's a pill. It doesn't need to be injected. Lilly says it's going to seek approval from the FDA later this year to market orforglipron for obesity and early in 2026 for diabetes. No word on what the brand name will be yet. Use of diabetes technology has dramatically increased, and glycemic control has improved among people with type 1 in the U.S. over the past 15 years. But at the same time, overall achievement of an A1C below 7 remains low, and socioeconomic and racial disparities have widened. These findings come from an analysis of national electronic health records of nearly 200,000 children and adults. The study was published online this month in the Journal of the American Medical Association Network Open. Use of CGM increased substantially from 2009 to 2023, from less than 5% in both children and adults to more than 80% in kids and just over 50% in adults. A couple of updates from Tandem Diabetes Care. This is gleaned from their presentation at the Canaccord Genuity 45th Annual Growth Conference. What stands out to me? Announcement about pharmacy. They have started in the pharmacy channel with Mobi, and they will be moving T-Slim supplies into the pharmacy channel in the fourth quarter of this year. They expect to grow that coverage and have much broader access in the coming years. They also announced FDA okay for the 7-day infusion set. Earlier this year, they got FDA approval for the 3-day infusion set called the Steady Set, and now it looks like they have it approved for 7 days. No timeline given for when that 7-day Steady Set will be commercially released, although I'm hearing by the end of this year. And they plan to launch Mobi in a patch configuration, so a tubeless Mobi, in 2026. I've heard people referring to this as the Toby, the tubeless Mobi. We'll see if that is the official name. Mannkind has submitted to the FDA for approval for children and adolescents aged 4 to 17. Mannkind also announced a strategic financing agreement with funds managed by Blackstone worth up to $500 million. The company says the funding will support the expansion of the commercial team in preparation for the anticipated launch of the pediatric indication for Afrezza, if it is approved. And Medtronic is sharing an early preview of the new integrated Abbott sensor for its pump systems. Medtronic Diabetes, which is actually called MiniMed now, it is spun off from Medtronic proper. This sensor is called Instinct. It is made by Abbott. It looks a heck of a lot like a Libre, but it is designed exclusively for MiniMed systems. Medtronic has its own CGMs, Guardian 4 and Simplera, and it says it intends to continue using those systems as part of a comprehensive CGM portfolio. Modular Medical has unveiled Pivot. They say it's for almost pumpers. Their current pump, the Mod D1, won FDA clearance nearly a year ago. They say they will submit this new pump In October, the Pivot pump will also have a gamified training module. It was developed by Level X, a developer of medical games. We had the CEO of Level X on the podcast not too long ago. Sam Glassenberg was talking to us about his learning game all about type 1 diabetes, separate from the Modular medical partnership, and he says people learn best through play. Inflammation may predict how well people with diabetes respond to depression treatment, and the effects differ dramatically between type 1 and type 2. Diabetes and depression do often appear together. Depression more than 3 times more prevalent in people with type 1, twice as prevalent in people with type 2, and treatment can vary widely. German researchers looked at depressive symptoms and diabetes distress, and then they looked at inflammation. The researchers found in patients with type 1, higher baseline inflammation was linked to smaller improvements in depression. In type 2, it was the opposite. Higher inflammation was linked to greater improvements. The researchers say they're not sure what causes this difference. Maybe it's about immune activity. They do want to study it further. Parents of children diagnosed with type 1 suffer an income drop in the years following the diagnosis, and the impact more pronounced in mothers, especially mothers of children diagnosed in preschool years. And these findings are coming from a European study, not the U.S. I point that out because of the differences in how we all pay for health care. This study includes the parents of more than 13,000 children diagnosed with type 1 in Sweden from 1993 to 2014, as well as more than 500,000 parents in their general population who have children not diagnosed with diabetes. U.S. Department of Justice reaches a settlement with Metro Nashville Public Schools after allegations that the district violated the Americans with Disabilities Act. The parents requested that the school monitor their child's CGM. Investigators found the school refused to do so, despite the child's official type 1 diabetes diagnosis. As part of the settlement, the school district agreed to change its policies to allow the use of these devices, ensure trained staff can monitor them, and to improve communication with parents. Virginia's governor joined Civica officials at their manufacturing facility to announce a $3 million grant from the state to accelerate the efforts to develop and produce affordable insulin. Civica plans to produce both rapid and long-acting insulins at its manufacturing facility in Virginia. They aim to provide patients with predictable, transparent pricing, no more than $30 per vial or $55 for a box of 5 pens, regardless of insurance status. I last talked to Civica in 2022 when they had announced this initiative. I contacted them earlier this year for an update. They told me they would reach out when they have one. I'll keep trying. It is time to apply for the Beyond Type 1 Beyond Scholars scholarships. Beyond Scholars includes $10,000 for recently graduated high school seniors with type 1 diabetes or type 2 entering college or trade schools. This is one of the largest needs-based diabetes scholarships in the United States. And this year, awardees will also receive 6 months of coaching through Wisely Health. Applications are open. The deadline is coming up. Deadline is August 29th. All of the information, as with all of these stories, over at diabetes-connections.com and click on this episode homepage. And finally, Nick Jonas and Kyle Rudolph are announcing a rally where they're going to give away a 2025 Volkswagen ID Buzz electric bus. Nick Jonas is one of the founders of Beyond Type 1, which is celebrating 10 years this year. The rally will be live on alltrue.com. People can also scan QR codes. And the winner will be selected on November 14th, which is World Diabetes Day. Rudolph is a former NFL tight end, and All True is his professional fundraising platform. More information on how to enter over at diabetes-connections.com. And that is a big in the news this week. If you like it, please share it. I'll see you back here in just a couple of days for our next long format episode. We have a fantastic panel. This was recorded at Mom's Night Out in Cleveland a couple of months ago. And it's our Ask Me Anything panel. I love doing these. I love listening back to them. And you are going to really enjoy it. Adults with type 1. And these are 2 healthcare professionals who live with type 1. And they do not hold back. It's a really fun conversation. I'm Stacey Sims. I'll see you back here soon. Until then, be kind to yourself.
Diabetes Connections is a production of Stacey Sims Media. All rights reserved, all wrongs avenged.